anything. Sometimes. Every once in a while, everything falls into place. Story of how I got my shit together and found this is our 5th tailgate. Let's I'm a fan of life. Welcome to the campsite. We're gonna tear it up tonight. We better be rolling. We gotta get this right. The first time I got this whole RV to myself, just trying to relax, and he's trying to make me work. It's not really work. Me. My name is Eric Palacios. I am a photographer and videographer. And just like you, like everyone else, I've got a story, right?
I highly suggest this if you have some shit going on in your life. Find a house like this, get a 10-pound sledgehammer, fuck shit up.
But this one is about the, how can I put this? Shit show that was the last 5 years, and how that show led to the best year of my life, the year 2020. April 1st, they extended this quarantine. I don't know why, but I thought it'd be a kind of a cool idea to like shoot a documentary. Could be cool. Now, at first, I just wanted to document the year 2020 because, yeah, I mean, it's been a very bad year by, many accounts, but then I started to think about the year I had both personally and professionally. For the first time, I think ever, like, I am just happy, really freaking happy. And it got me thinking about the year 2015, why that year is so significant, and how it led to this year. And now, if you remember, if you even know me, if you'll remember 5 years ago, 2015, I took a 60-day long road trip. Just me and my car. This is it. I am leaving Houston right now. This is crazy. I have no idea what to expect at all. This is actually happening. I'm leaving right now. Now, I was a 28-year-old idealist, and I thought, this is it. This is the event that's going to change everything for me, my mentality, my finances, my career. I've got the capital of Arkansas right behind me. I am here in Branson, Missouri. I am in Union Station in Denver, Colorado. Phoenix, over here in South Mountain, Multnomah Falls in Portland, Oregon.
Here you're at the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington.
Here at Mount Rushmore over in South Dakota. I'm here in Jackson, Wyoming. I just knew that I was destined to be a big shot life coach.
or being on top of the world is a state of mind. It's where you feel the most you. They all told themselves at one point in time, and probably still think the same thing: I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. What separates them is that they're still taking action regardless. Hey there, this is Eric with the Impact Series. This is Chapter 3, and we're going to be discussing fear this week. Fear this week. Fear this week. Fear this week. Fear this week.
He's got some ambitions, I'll give him that. Now, the trip was incredible. We saw some places that very few people get to see in their lives, let alone in their 20s. But that life coach career, nah, man, that didn't pan out. Turns out I had a bit more living to do. Surprise, surprise. And realizations to be had. Like, for starters, I was not meant to be a life coach. Oh, he can be a bit dramatic. I always believe in him. And when we're on the same page, shit, we could put a dent in the universe. But something was off at the time. Don't get me wrong, like, I absolutely love helping people find their light. I'm remarkably attracted to progression and people bettering themselves.
I hope this message really reaches out to a lot of people, because this is something that I'm very passionate about. Obviously, if you couldn't tell.
But you know, that saying is true. Like, you can't fill anybody else's cup when yours isn't full itself, right? That's just too true. Speaking of. By the end of 2015, I had just completely lost grasp of any momentum I had and just kind of spiraled downwards.
I'm reaching out to my support team, and it's just really tough.
Now, here is where things took kind of like a really bad turn. I genuinely convinced myself that I was a complete piece of shit, like a complete phony. And I legitimately believed this. Look, I know it was rough. Hell, I was there. And I genuinely did my best to keep his head in the game. The next couple years would follow suit with that whole like no passion thing and downward spiral thing, especially the year 2016. Like, by all accounts, I consider the worst year of my life for many reasons, but for the biggest reason is that I was a really bad version of myself. I was very selfish. I was very manipulative. I was very, I just wasn't a good person by any stretch. And, I was burning bridges, and I was not giving anything. I was taking everything I could. And not surprisingly, I got hurt, and I hurt people in the process. But looking back on it, I can't stand it. But at the time, I thought that was like such a cool quality. Bask in the hurt, be rude, be selfish, get hurt like that. That was a cool thing, and the music just sounded better. I hate looking back on it, but it's important that I do, because it was such a stark contrast, right, to who I wanted to be literally like 6 months earlier. A completely different person.
Pretty gnarly, isn't it? This might be one of, if not the first time, I've actually sat down and reflected this whole trip. What a perfect place to do it. I'm gaining momentum now. This is it. This is where it really starts to pick up. Hopefully you heard that.
Now I was living day to day, party to party, experience to experience. Like I had literally no plan, no foundation, no inklings of a plan or foundation. You know, I had odd jobs here and there, but I hate jobs. Like, I mean, most people would say they do, but no, it's so different for me because if it doesn't bring me passion, like I just flat out won't do it. I can't. My brain won't let me. So, not surprisingly, money became an issue, and as such, I had to make a big move, and that move included, moving away from my beloved city of Austin, Texas, back home to a suburb of Houston with my family. Now, I'll grant you, I had no foundation, I had no plan or anything like that, but this certainly was not in the plans ever. I was not going back home. But alas, it was a necessity. A necessity, it turns out, that would pay off handsomely eventually. 2017. The year that everything changed for the better and for worse, and for the worse and for better. Here I was, 31 years old, back at home with family, broke, mad at the world, but still just like, still kind of like obnoxiously optimistic and hopeful. Always. But that didn't stop me from a couple times, not a couple times, like more times than I care to remember. I had complete breakdowns. Just waterworks. Am I good enough for anything? Am I worth it? Am I worth a shit? Like, is anything ever good going to happen to me? Just waterworks. And I was like, even in those breakdowns, like there's a part of me that was still like, there's a voice even that was just optimistic, that was hopeful. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, can I be self-deprecating for a minute? Like, let me hurt. Nope. He always responds, there's no way I'm going to let him believe that despair is the only option when things get hard. I know he hates that shit sometimes, but I'm not going to let it happen. That freaking guy. So the year's 2017, and now I'm destined to make my millions as a real estate investor. Now, I had dabbled in real estate before, but this time I was going to do it right. So I was going to do everything by the book. So I went to networking events. I started networking like crazy. Met some really amazing people, some of whom are still like my really good friends to this day. And it didn't take long. Shortly after that, I just started losing the passion for it. I started losing the heart for it, and I couldn't find the money, and that was a weird position for me because some of my friends and some of the people that I've known from years prior were just becoming ridiculously successful. And I thought to myself, man, maybe I just suck. Like, I'm just not good at anything, and it screwed me up. And so it made me feel like totally inadequate. And so it came to a point after enough like crappy nights, it came to a point where I just wanted to find something, right? Something that I could sink my teeth into, something that I loved, and that something loved me back. This is one of those moments that define the rest of a life. The moment that you find something that drives you, something that gives you a sense of hope and fulfillment that you've been searching for your entire life, and you grab it and you run with it. And my man was about to find just that. Now, a few things were happening simultaneously that I didn't realize the importance of at the time. For one, I was living with family. Now, that's cool enough if you want to save money, but as a single man in your 30s, living with your family doesn't exactly scream, look how successful I am, right? And because of that, I wasn't going out partying as much, which is kind of a good thing, because one of the biggest reasons that I got screwed up in the first place is because I was always constantly partying and meeting people, hooking up, all that stuff, right? So it was a sobering moment. Don't get me wrong. It was a shitty, sobering moment, but I mean, it had its benefits. And we're talking focus here. That ever elusive X factor that kept us from being on the same page all this time. And for the first time, he was about to have that focus. And then, the moment that we've been waiting for a very, very long time. I picked a camera back up. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you're here with me. This, by the way, this is my actual first unboxing of this. So let me finagle things and rip things and whatever. Oh, there she is. Panasonic S1. Get all over me. So pretty. So, smells fantastic. So yeah, I picked up a camera in 2018. But here's the thing, it was that trip in 2015 that got me into the craft of it. Now at the time I was filming, I didn't know anything. I was filming from a MacBook, freaking camera from a MacBook.
Shit. How much work goes into this? It's not even done anything yet. No. Focus. Goddamn wind.
How was that? I didn't even know how to operate a legitimate camera. So, but what's strange is like, I picked this camera back up and I started working, and I even borrowed a friend's camera and started working with the dials and such, try to figure stuff out. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I was figuring stuff out. And so I posted a couple things and I started getting really good feedback. And here, this is it. This is when the seeds of a passion started taking root. I started actually feeling something. Something was churning, and I was really digging it. So now, mid-2018, I'm in full swing of this. I'm digging every single moment. I am constantly watching YouTube tutorials and clips and stuff. Peter McKinnon, Matty Hapoya, Cinecom. Like any film channel I can get a hold of, I was watching it. I mean, I was dead serious about this. I was in. I'm just gonna do it. I'll figure it out along the way. There's a quote from Gary Vee. I loved it. He said, "There's no business plan. Go do shit." Cool, man. All right, let's give that a shot. I was finally inspired, and I made it a point to tell everyone that I was a photographer and videographer. That's what I did. I mean, here's a problem. I didn't have any work of my own. So, that led me to doing some free work. Here's where it kind of comes full circle. My very first official gig, I didn't get paid for it, but my very first professional official gig, this video I did for a bar in Houston. The coolest part about this is that I was introduced to the owners from people that I had met a year or so prior at a real estate networking event. And that, I think, is why that video resonates so much with me. I'm so proud of it. I'm super proud of that video. Thankfully, it didn't take long before I started getting my first paid gigs. Yeah, $100 here, $200 there. But I did it. Something from nothing, from my own creativity. I was getting paid for it. Hell yes. "2020 found the world at a standstill. At this point, though, we've been inside this is my second, 2 full weeks plus some days. 2 weeks. 4 to go so far. I have no other point to this at all. I just wanted to feel like I was talking to someone. Cheers. To me, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to take advantage of the standstill and continue to grow that rediscovered passion. So I spent countless hours a day refining my craft, both photo and video. This is a very particular time for the arts, I believe. I was up till 2:30 last night, looking at tutorials and stuff and watching YouTube and all that, and like during all of this, I haven't had like a bad day. I mean, every day has been full of learning something or figuring something out, or learning something on the camera here.
That's a wrap.
Over the course of the tumultuous year, I picked up some incredible clients and created some work that is beyond fulfilling to me. As the year went on, I found myself igniting parts of my heart and soul that I've never felt before. Absolute pure joy. And I owe it all to the year 2015. What I thought ended in a heap of rubble actually turned out to be the seed that planted this entire passion that changed my life for the better forever. I've got so much more to learn, to create, to strive to. I'm not looking back, but I'm not looking back in the best possible way. I look back and think of it as a stepping stone. Where I'm going now is only up. My name is Eric Palacios. I'm a professional photographer and videographer, and there's so much story left to be told. You coming with? Is that it? Did we just do that? Did we just finish that? I mean, I know I'm gonna put a lot of work into this, so I better get some views. Shit. Oh man.